What was a great thing ruined by popularity?
Both these. Basically, they are small cottages in remote parts of the Scottish Highlands that are left unlocked, free to be used for shelter by people traveling the mountains. They are not well furnished or anything, but they act as a freely usable weatherproof shelter for anyone to use in a country where summer usually just means the rain is slightly less frigid. Used to be that they weren't too well known. The hill walking community used them, maintained them, and everyone observed an unwritten code of conduct, where you make sure to leave it tidy, clean, and ready for the next person to use. However, they suddenly experienced an upsurge in awareness, and a lot of them suffered for it. People would go to them so they could have a fist up in a scenic location and leave them covered in rubbish and shirt. Literal shirt. They are normally refurbished from long abandoned houses, and frequently don't have toilets, so they are equipped with a shovel to bury your waste. People seem to think they were free holiday homes that they could just take over. Some people just vandalize them for the fun of it. As a result, they suffered quite a bit. They should offer shelter from bad weather, and a safe place to sleep. But now, you have a bunch of entitled, lazy assholes who go and wreck them. To some extent, amusement and theme parks. They have to be popular to justify building new, state-of-the-art attractions, but eventually get so crowded that you need to buy special passes and get on a ride in less than 2 hours, and can barely even find a place to sit when you want to rest for a minute. I live near Six Flags Great America, outside of Chicago. In the time I've gone in the last 10 years, it's been a ridiculous mass of humanity. More rides than ever, but every decent ride is like a 2-hour wait. Any restaurant Anthony Bourdain featured in his shows? Even he acknowledged this. These fantastic gyms would subsequently be overrun with diners that they suffered from overcrowding and lower standards. Last year, I did the Utah National and State Parks during the early spring off-season, and the measures they are taking to try to accommodate the massive number of visitors during the summer is incredible. Parking, lodging, sanitation, and safety are all becoming problems, and I hope that these places don't become victims of their own popularity, or just really seems to attract people doing stupid dangerous shit. The iconic delicate arch is like a magnet for morons who don't prepare for the trail, take risky selfies, vandalize and climb on things, and drink in places where there's 360 degrees of cliffs around you. I live in Egypt, and many of the most popular places are ruined by all the people there all year round.
Yeah, having a KFC right across from the Sphinx is a total WTF.
Have you ever noticed? There's a threshold where a song gets too popular and will live on with the memory of everyone thinking it was overplayed and annoying. Okay, I'm going to mix it up. Silphium, the plant used as a form of likely very effective birth control in the ancient Mediterranean. For this reason, and because it was apparently delicious, it gained popularity as a spice, aphrodisiac, and general cure-all, and became worth its weight in gold. Julius Caesar stockpiled the stuff, and it is one of the most plausible origins of the heart symbol, and the association of that symbol with romance, and doing the sex to people. Unfortunately, it only grew wild and around Cyrene. And over-harvesting by the Romans after their takeover of the city drove silphium into extinction by the time of Nero. And that's why we had to wait 2,000 years for the pill. Beaches. Once tourism starts, it usually has devastating effects on the flora and fauna. They had to close the beach off from the public in Thailand to give nature time to recover. I was talking about Maya Bay, which was made famous by the movie The Beach. Yes, the one with Leo. Despite its isolation, the bay attracts so many tourists there isn't even any room to lay down on the sand. The bay is closed off until officials believe the coral has rejuvenated sufficiently. Visiting Iceland. I absolutely fell in love with the country when I was there, but the popularity of it means, like any other trendy tourist destination, that it's now ruined by tourists being jackboxes. I grew up near a national park that is also now ruined by overcrowding, so maybe I have a lower threshold for that sort of stuff than most, but watching idiots stomping all over fragile geothermal features, 2 steps away from the no walking on this area sign just boils my blood. your B&B. The idea of renting free room or sofa isn't bad at all. It turned into hard business when companies owning dozens of apartments rent them to tourists. Meanwhile, there is an apartment price and rent crisis. I guess living here isn't going to be affordable for middle class anymore. Basically any hit song gets overplayed, so you end up hating it cause you can't escape it. Also probably a fair bit of TV shows. Rick and Morty is still good, but the popularity led to creating a cringy-ash fan base, which can turn a lot of people off. Mount Everest. Especially since there's only 1 or 2 days a season that people climb, when conditions are optimal. There are literally queues of people waiting to go up some sections, and the overcrowding contributes to the number of deaths there each year. That's before you even start to think about the rubbish or trash left up there. Plastic. It is a great material, but mankind does not know how to use it properly.
We have this super strong, super lightweight, corrosive resistant material that can be made into any shape at a very low cost. It lasts forever, and we use it for disposable packaging.
Drones. They are an amazing and useful tool for surveyors, photographers, inspectors, filmmakers, etc. But they are so ubiquitous. Johnny Depp can go buy one at Best Buy and crash it into a bald eagle nest and make the rest of us who've gone through training and FAA licensing look bad. Roof Shark. Effectively free Spotify Premium with every single song that you could think of on it. Was ducking awesome? I imagine its popularity drew too much attention to its multiple, blatant copyright violations. Was fun while it lasted though. The Joker Stairs in the Bronx was a nice little piece of architecture in a quiet area of Highbridge. Now Instagram dipshits are ruining it. There's more trash there than ever before. I feel bad for the local residents who have to put up with it. Yik Yak. I loved Yik Yak in college. Was hilarious and had juicy anonymous gossip on it, and it was a great place to just put down random thoughts. Then it started growing and people started using it for making blatantly racist comments anonymously. That led to more shirt that ashholes would put on there, like putting people's full names in their stories and making bomb threats. Great example of a few people ruining it for everyone else. Remember back when your father knew a faster, alternative route around a major traffic jam that actually was faster? Since the handheld availability of real-time traffic data and route optimization by Google Maps, an equilibrium of travel time has established such that everyone knows what the best route is, and the traffic jam actually takes as long as the alternative route. Lindsay Lohan. Seriously. Cute and talented actress received way too much popularity with no guidance. Those T-Rex costumes.
Same with the horse head.
Baby Shark. Like 2 years ago it was a cute song to sing with my toddler. Now it's ducking everywhere. The NHL. They've made a whole TV series out of it. Duck. Just let it die. The original Facebook required an active college email and was a cool chill place. Now it's just a breeding ground for political horse shirt and Karens and/or anti-vax moms. Travel. Used to be fun and interesting. Now it's a competitive sport. Surprised no one has said this yet, but Netflix. Netflix was definitely ruined by its popularity. Not in the traditional the consumers are at fault and made it bad, but because so many people love Netflix. Every duck company had to make their own inferior version of it. Friendly reminder that shows like The Office gained popularity because they were on platforms people already own. Not because they paid for Netflix to get The Office. Honestly, even though I hate them as a company, Disney was in the right for making a streaming service since they had a justifiable amount of content to form their own platform. But every other TV streaming service is crazy for thinking most people will pay for their shirt rather than resorting to pirating it. Frozen. Saw it in the cinema and really liked it. And by about 2 weeks later, I was so sick of the ducking songs. I couldn't bear to watch the film. We have younger siblings.
Just let it go.
Anime conventions used to be a fun time to be weird and nerdy, with a bunch of really weird and nerdy people with shoestring budgets. Now it's a bunch of professional cosplayers who make costumes for a living and large commercial things being marketed, and a lot of parents with their kids. Most of the historic monuments, the amount of markings all over them makes me sick. The internet in general.
The internet was so magical back when nobody understood it. Every site was like, "Welcome to Tom's Cool Train page under construction GIF. Here's 10,000 words on why diesels are the best and electrics can go and get ducked. Your visitor number 000000023. Sign my guest book."
Indie games. There are still some really cool indie games being made, but for every single good one there is 1,000 really shirty ones. Just a few years ago, I could go on Steam and find some great hidden gems, but now, it's just an endless stream of shirt. Hundreds of wacky and random XD meme games like Brick Simulator, or Third Right Clicker, with quality worse than 2010 Flash games. And porn, so much porn. The worst thing about this is that some really amazing games go completely unseen because they are drowned in this ocean of shirt. Online dating. When you think about it, it's a great way to meet people if your other social prospects are lacking. I love my friends, but there's nobody to date there and I don't have time for more friends. But in practice, the sheer number of available singles has us turning our noses up at perfectly good people because someone better might come along. Flipping houses. When or where I grew up, people bought houses to live in. They weren't investment properties. You didn't buy a place, paint it all, update the crown molding and try to sell it for $30,000 more. I'm sure some people did it, but it got crazy and ducked up the real estate market. I'm definitely going to get hate for this, cause Fortnite, bad, Minecraft, good. However, I would imagine that if Fortnite didn't quite blow up like it did, it would have been a vastly better game than it is now. Publicity literally ruins tons of things, man. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to Karma Farm to get more videos just like this.